Three of the most anticipated movies of 2012 just so happen to be comic books: The Avengers, The Amazing Spider-Man, and The Dark Knight. Now, with theyll being comic movies, it's naturally going to be debated amongst fans, like which one's better and which one is like superior to the other, and like the debate will ramble on even well after the movie releases and so on, and anticipation to it. Now, we just had the release of Avengers, as you know, May 4th. It's now June 9th or whatever, and opening weekend, as you know, $207 million. The second weekend dropped off, but still made 132, which is like the biggest second week box office. Now, you can debate that money doesn't equate to quality, but Avengers was a damn good movie. As anybody who's seen it, like there's only probably 3 people in the world who hasn't seen it, and mostly 99% of the people enjoyed it. It's only that 1% that didn't stay true to source material, blah blah blah. It had one goal with this movie, to bring the Marvel universe, the cinematic universe together, the Iron Man, Captain America, and Hulk, and to make an enjoyable film, and they did. It was action-packed. The story wasn't that expansive or convoluted. It was just simple, easy to understand, and it worked well. Now, it is standing at 3rd place all time, domestic in the U.S. right now, just past The Dark Knight last week. It now has $559 million. Now, it's only behind Titanic and Avatar, both James Cameron movies. Both had 2 releases to help, boost those numbers a little bit. Now, I don't think it might have a chance to reach Titanic's numbers when it's all said and done, because it has a few more weeks until The Amazing Spider-Man comes out, and I think, summertime starting, people will go see it again, and not that much competition. I know Snow White and the Huntsman did pretty well, and Men in Black, but still holding its ground even with those movies. Like I said, Titanic has 658, and Avatar has $760 million U.S. domestically. It might have a chance to reach Titanic. I don't think it has enough legs to reach Avatar, but with the 3D, it did help with those numbers. Now you can debate too whether 3D really helped it in terms of number of ticket sales, whether it's sold more tickets per se than the other movies, than the ones that it beat, like Dark Knight and Spider-Man and Harry Potter and all that. But as it stands right now, on the surface, 3rd place all time. So this is tremendous effort by Marvel and the Avengers. So, and it's like I said, it's an awesome movie. With that being said, next up in the comic book movie Showdown of 2012 is this movie, The Amazing Spider-Man. Now you can see I'm repping some Marvel Zombies here. Have some Venom and Spider-Man getting owned. But anyway, not Marvel Zombies, Amazing Spider-Man. This has a lot to live up to for me, because I was a big fan of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, all 3 of them, even the 3rd one. It was the weakest, yes, but there were some elements that I did enjoy, and the potential that was lost, that's what made it brought down and suck ultimately. But still, all 3 of them I loved, especially the first one. I didn't really as much like the second one as other people hyped it up to be. It's hard to say, but I like the first one more than the second one. But anyway, can it live up to the Tobey Maguire franchise? New characters, new world, new universe. They're ditching Mary Jane for Gwen Stacy, for now. New Spider-Man. They changed his look up a bit. They changed the colors around. They're having a story with his parents more. So I think it's more of the Ultimate Universe. So that has some potential too, because they changed things a bit around in there, as all the Ultimate Universes did. No more organic web shooters. Now it's just more to the comics, where the artificial web shooter, which I think I was tell my friends that at some point in the movie that has to come into play, where he runs out at a critical moment finding the lizard or whatnot, because if it doesn't and it's just there just to get in as it was in the comics, I think it will be a waste, because it offers more movie suspenseful. You know, it's good for a movie's sake that that comes into play at some point. When this movie was first announced, back they were rebooting it, they were scrapping the whole Spider-Man 4 with, you know, potential Lizard and Carnage and like Vulturous or whatever. I was like a little grumbly with the fact that, you know, it's gonna be lower budget. They said new characters gonna. And they said, I think I read that it was gonna appeal more to the like Twilight fan base, which, you know, had me groan a little bit. But up until the first trailer, it's like, oh, this movie's gonna suck. You know, it's gonna be the death of Spider-Man. But the first trailer, you know, got me. Not the first trailer, not the Mirror's Edge one. I guess the second trailer. After that, I was, you know, changed my mind completely. Now I'm anticipating it, and like I want to see it. Now, I guess I should warn everybody that the things that I talk about are just based off trailers I've seen, and not like deep investigative stuff over the internet. Not like rumors or spy photos on sets, you know, stuff like that. I try to keep myself pure, like knowing as little as possible before I see it, so I can be totally surprised. Because if I find out, you know, blah blah blah, this person's on set playing this character, then that's gonna ruin the surprise. So I try to keep away from that, except for Iron Man 3 with the Iron Patriot, but that's for another video. So, yeah, they get the Gwen Stacy. It looks like they got the identity thing out of the way pretty early in this franchise, because in the Tobey Maguire, it took like till the end of the second one, when Mary Jane found out that Peter was Spider-Man and Harry, you know, Peter was Spider-Man, and that was like a big story part of the first franchise. So it looks like this one's going to get rid of that early. It looks like much more a darker tone to it, not like light and campy as the other ones. So it's gonna be interesting. It looks like they are taking, I would say, like a Batman Begins approach to it. So I don't know if they're gonna do like follow that suit, where at the end of Batman Begins they hinted towards the Joker, one of the bigger enemies in the Batman universe. I wonder if they're gonna do the same for, you know, this movie at the end. I would love to see Venom in this one, not, you know, in full, but hinted towards. If, you know, Oscorp makes the, if like Eddie Brock Sr. and Richard Parker were working on like the Venom anti-cancer cure, the Venom serum, whatever, and Ultimate Universe it was like more of a serum, not less of an alien. So if they're gonna go that way, I would love to see Venom hinted towards. So in the next two movies, they can just do like a symbiote saga, because really, like, you don't need, maybe you do need Green Goblin, but if they forewent Green Goblin and Doc Ock for a proper Venom and Carnage and symbiote saga for the next two movies, I'll be down for that. Because I saw just now on Superhero Hype that they want to do a Venom movie and tie into this franchise. However, they said also that there's no hint of Eddie Brock or Venom in this one. So there goes my theory. However, if they do another hint of the bad villain for the next one, in this one it's probably going to be Green Goblin, and set up nicely for, you know, the second one, which they're already like pre-planning, you know, and announced like months in advance ago. But with that, with me saying that like the trailer was good and this movie looks like it's gonna, you know, pull in big numbers, that means right now officially, you know, Spider-Man will never be in the Avengers, other than the fact that it's owned by Sony and they're probably never ever going to give up the rights for it. However, I wish, you know, everybody can get along and like the two movie studios can like strike out a deal to have like Spider-Man in the Avengers, and then when Sony does the next Spider-Man, they can borrow one Avengers for a couple scenes in, you know, the Amazing Spider-Man 2, you know, or something. Have Nick Fury in it, or Black Widow, or, you know, Hawkeye, somebody. But that's never going to happen because, you know, greed runs the world and they want to keep what's there. So they have no Avengers, no Spider-Man Avengers. And that's it for the movie, pretty much. Looking forward to it. Can't wait for it. Yeah, if it's good as, you know, the original franchise, then I'll be happy with it. Which goes to the fact that when Spider-Man 1 opened in 2002, the first weekend it did was like $110 million, which is unprecedented back in that time. It was like the biggest opening weekend ever back then, 10 years ago now. So what this, I'm predicting like the opening weekend for this will probably beat it easily because of 3D. So I predict like 100 and maybe 30 to 150, something like that for 1 week. I think that would, I think that's pretty good numbers. However, it's July 4th week. However, July 4th doesn't land on this weekend, which hurt Spider-Man 2 in its original debut, because that only did 88 million its first weekend. However, it did have a bigger lifetime, money-wise, lifetime gross. So, like I said, the first Spider-Man made 114 million first week, and then ended up with 403 million. Spider-Man 2, 88 for the weekend, and 373 for a lifetime. And Spider-Man 3 did 151 first weekend, which was the biggest at that time, and ended up with 336. So Spider-Man 3 was the least grossing amount out of the three. So I think it'll probably beat Spider-Man 3. Maybe get to range of Spider-Man 2. So anywhere from 336 to 373, but not beat the 403 million for Spider-Man 1. And then like critics wise, I think it'll probably range from like 80 to 85% on Tomato Meter on Rotten Tomatoes, which I go there. I don't, look at Metacritic. I just go there for the movies on Rotten Tomatoes. So, I think does well enough to be, good movie as like the critics will like it. I could be wrong. However, you can never judge with those things. It could be like a 12 to 20% rotten movie. So whatever. But there I go with that. Spider-Man. I think it's gonna do overall well, and it's gonna continue with the Spider-Man like lore, I guess, like in this new franchise. So I think it'll do well. Andrew Garfield looks like he's going to be perfect cast for Spider-Man, and Gwen Stacy, Emma Stone. So I like her as an actress, and Martin Sheen as Uncle Ben. So can't go wrong. Now for the biggest movie, or I should say most anticipated movie of this comic book triple threat showdown, and you all know what it is. July 20th, The Dark Knight Rises.